Alright, let's go ahead and get started. So this is test 3-3 review video. Just to get started, remember guys that you will be not given a graphing calculator for your test. You will get to use your little baby 4-function calculator, and then you will also have your math charts with all your exponent values. So I'm going to start with the first section, radical expressions and rational exponents. So I picked a couple that I'm going to do to work with you guys today. So the first one is number 1. Let me go ahead and make sure my camera is zoomed in. Alright, so let's do number 1. So we have 2 to the 3/4 power. Alright, so it says write each expression in radical form, simplify if needed. So what I always tell my kiddos is you are the 2, right? So write your radical. You live in a house. Your friend is who you rank on top. So that's the 3. They're going to go inside the house with you, and then whoever you kick to the curb, right, that's not your friend. That's the guy on the bottom. Since he's ranked lower, he goes to the outside. Now just check, can you simplify anything? 2 cubed is 8, so this is the 4th root of 8. That is your final answer. Alright, skip to number 3. Number 3 says you have 27 to the negative 5/3 power. Now before I rewrite anything in radical form, I do not like having negative exponents. It's just like you don't like when people are negative, so we don't want negative exponents. So in order to make that negative exponent come down, I need to bring my whole value over 1. So it becomes positive 5/3. Now what I'm going to do is simplify the bottom into radical form. So I have my little house, right? 27 is you. Your friend is the 5, so they go inside the house with you. And then whoever you kicked out, not your friend, is the 3. Now when I'm simplifying here, guys, it's easier to do, you can go either way. You can do 27 to the 5th power and then take the cube root of that. Remember, you don't have a graphing calculator. So it's easier to use your charts to figure out what is the cube root of 27. And so that's easier for me to do. So the cube root of 27 is 3. And then you have 1 over 3 to the 5th power. So 3 to the 5th power, looking at my chart, is 1 over 243. And that's my final answer. Alright, so next one I'm going to do is number 5. So number 5 says I have 5v to the 3/4 power. Alright, notice that the 5 and the v are both in parentheses, so that means those are both going to go under the radical, in this case what I call your house. So you have 5 and v, 3 is your friend, right? This goes to everything, and then 4 is the guy that gets kicked out. Now, in this case, I don't know what the 4th root of 5 is, so what I'm going to do is just simplify the inside if I can. So I have the 4th root on the outside. Alright, 5 cubed, right? We have 5 times 5 times 5, which is 125. You can look on your chart, and then the 3 also distributes to the v, and that is your final answer. Alright, that concludes that part. I'm going to go to the next section where it says write each expression in exponential form. So we have number 7. Let's zoom out just a little bit. There we go. Number 7 says you have the cube root, or not the cube root, the square root of 36, x to the 6th. So for this one, I'm going to ask myself, what is the square root of 36? What times what is 36? And the answer is 6. And then I have x, right? Your friend is who's inside with you, that's your exponent, so they go on the top. And then who is on the outside? Who did you kick outside? Remember, this is a 2, even though they don't write it. I always tell my kids it's like lazy math guy who doesn't like to write it. But it's there, it's understood as a 2. So this is going to be a 2 right here. And then I'm going to see if I can simplify. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. So your answer is 6x cubed. Alright, so we're now going to skip to number 9. So number 9 says I have the cube root of 8VW squared q to the 6th power. Alright, so first I'm going to do the cube root of 8. So what times what is 8? And that is 2. And then V, my friend is 1, right? Because that's an understood 1 right here. And then the 3 is on the outside, so it's V to the 1/3 power. And then we have W, so your friend is the 2. The person you kicked out is 3. You rank them on the bottom. And then you have Q, your friend is 6. They're inside the house with you. And then the person you kicked out is 3. And then I'm checking to see if I can simplify any of my fractions. 1/3 stays as 1/3, right? And then I have 2/3 that cannot be reduced, so that stays as 2/3. And then for my Q, 6 divided by 3 is 2. So that is my final answer. All right, number 10. We have 1 over the 4th root of x to the 7th. So the radical's on the bottom. It's okay. Just treat it as top and bottom. So the top stays the same for right now. For the bottom, I have my x, who's your friend, who's in the inside with you. You rank them on top because they're your friend. And then who did you kick out? The 4, so they rank on the bottom. Kick them out of the house. So you have 1 over x to the 7/4 power. Now this is an exponential form. The bottom is. But if you want true exponential form, you want to move this guy back to the top. Even though we don't like having negative exponents, this is a true exponential form where you don't have the fraction. So you can leave your answer just like that. All right, last one we're going to do is number 11. So I have the 4th root of 32 x to the 24th power divided by 2. Now there's a bunch of different ways, guys, that you can do this. I'm going to try to see if I can simplify anything first. So right now, I can simplify this. What is half of 32, right? And that's 16. So I'm going to rewrite this as the 4th root of 16x to the 24th. Now the 2 does not distribute to the 24th because you're not adding. You're not doing an iHeart math. It's just 32 divided by 2. So it's going to go like this. It's kind of like if you had 1/2 x. It stays just like that. Alright, so now I'm going to look at my chart and I'm going to ask myself, what is the 4th root of 16? What times what is 16? And the answer is, what times what is 16? So the answer is 2. Because 2 to the 4th is 16 straight from your chart. And then now I have x. Your friend is the 24. And then who'd you kick out is the 4. And then I can reduce that, right? If you're not really sure how to reduce it, I always tell my kids just half things. 24 divided by 2 is 12. Half of 4 is 2. And then keep checking. Can I keep reducing? Yes. Half of 12 is 6. So your answer is 2x to the 6th power. All right, that's it for the first section.